Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Stunthangar video hangout for Friday night, March 16th, 2018. And when we finish the show tonight, it'll be St. Patrick's Day. So welcome, leprechauns, and happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody else. I've got the chat box up on YouTube. We hope it'll work tonight, but it's a GoogTube thing. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I wrote a little bit more about that in the At the Bench thread where the link to this video hangout is posted. So when you go there to get the link to come in here with us, you can read about that, the chat box. And I hope it'll be working tonight. Friday's always a good time to get the chat crowd on here. But anyway, so looks like we got one viewer already. That was pretty quick. So come on in, and we'll take it all the way to St. Patrick's Day, and get your green beer and your cigarettes or whatever you want to smoke while you talk with you, and come on in and hang out with me, entertain me. I'll entertain you, and get everything adjusted here. All right, we're in good shape. No technical difficulties as of yet, and the weather's turning nice. March is always a month that teases us in my area of the country with some good days and bad days. But this year it looks like February was actually prettier than March. We had 80 degrees. We hadn't hit 80 degrees yet in March this year. We did in February, though. I'm still drinking out of my Christmas cup. That's my year-round coffee cup. Now, let's see. What can I think of to tell you? I don't really have any news except that the contest season is coming, just a few more weeks, and we've got Huntersville, Joe Nall, and the last weekend of Joe Nall, which is the third weekend, the third Saturday in May, we will have the Joe Nall Stunt Contest. And also at Joe Nall on Thursday, if the schedule stays the way it did last year, then we'll have a stunt clinic and a judging clinic. And last year it was Randy Smith and Derek Barry, and let's see who else came. Oh, the world champion from Dave Fitzgerald from California came all the way out to coach us in the stunt clinic. So we got that to look forward for to kick our season off in this neighborhood. And it looks like Jamie's with us. Hey, Jamie, what's going on?
What's up?
Not much. Just kicking the show off. Trying to find something to talk about until all you people show up. So, what's up with you?
No, none. None really at all.
You don't seem to have any video accompanying your voice tonight.
Oh, yeah, I got to shut off right now.
Oh, okay. That's fine. And I'm hoping I got chat box working, as I think we knew last time it was a Google and YouTube problem and not our problem. So it sort of worked last time. I don't feel like everybody was on it. We knew last time. Looks like I am reverberating.
Help me. I had to open up the YouTube link. Yeah, posted.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I'm reverberating through it. No. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're good. And I think people with Apple products have more trouble than people with Android and Windows with the chat box if they want to watch on YouTube. You do any flying this week?
Nah, I ain't flown since early December.
Oh, really? What's the weather like in your neck of the woods? Is it starting to get spring-like?
Oh, yeah, it's been like that, but every weekend it's either raining or the wind is blowing.
There's been no window for flying here. Even if you really wanted to, really badly, you couldn't have gone. We had 30-mile-an-hour winds yesterday. I was driving around, and it was blowing my SUV around. I think I drove farther sideways than I did forward. And I think we had 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and you can't fly in that. But that's what March is supposed to be. At least once we're having a normal season, kind of. It was colder more this winter than it usually is, but it's supposed to be windy in March and rainy in April, right? There used to be a poem about that, but all I remember is April showers bring May flowers. So I hope we don't have too many showers in April.
Yeah, I mean, it won't rain during the week. But come the weekend, it rains.
Yeah, that's what it's been here too, except with one exception. Me and Holly decided to go visit our friends that live down at the beach last weekend, and despite the rainy forecast, it turned out to be 2 sunny 70-degree days, and even 75 one day. And so that was a nice mistake on the part of the weather forecasters. But tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. We always have a big slam bang St. Patrick's festival, and a little corner of our town called 5 Points. I think half the town in the country have a 5 Points, an area called 5 Points, but ours is the University Bar District, and this gets pretty wild. And they pour a green food coloring into the fountain, you know, and they've got a green fountain, people drinking green beer, and bands on every corner, live bands on every corner. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but we had the same thing down here.
Yeah. Savannah used to have the premier one in the east, but I think Columbia's kind of got people coming from Savannah to go to the St. Patrick's Festival now, so we kind of share between each other. And good evening, Sparky. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Oh, you cleaning up the glass for a new project, or just continuing on with a?
Getting ready to go back. Gotta go in the morning.
I'm
gonna leave the shop a shithole. It already is a shithole.
Yeah, I hadn't been out to my shop in so long. I'd forgotten whether I had it cleaned up or neat, and I went out there today and looked around. It's a mess. I gotta get in there and clean it out. I gotta get the shop vac to work. That's what I really need to do. Do some serious spring cleaning. Let's see, somebody just came in. Who we got here? Oh, that's Charles and Gerald. Both arrived at the same time. How you guys doing tonight?
Hello, Sparky. Hello, Rusty. Hello,
Hey,
Charles. Jim.
Hey.
I can see Gerald and hear him. I don't see Charles yet. I see his airplane, though. I'm assuming that's Charles Carter. What kind of airplane is that?
Williams.
That's an imitation, it looks like.
I hadn't seen that one before, or maybe it's another Charles. Who we got there with the imitation? Oh, yeah, I don't have a last name. Maybe your mic's not on. Oh.
I don't know who it is, but
There we go. Ah, it's not Charles Carter. It's another Charles wearing a plaid shirt. How you doing, Charles? Can you hear me all right?
Oh.
Your picture's a little jumpy. Maybe your bandwidth is set too high. Can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay.
he needs to turn his bandwidth down.
Yeah, I got his mic turned off now. Yeah, turn your bandwidth down, Charles. Okay, microphone is now on. Well, you work on your settings for a minute. See if you can get it straightened out. If you want to lower your bandwidth, mouse up straight up to near the top of the view screen in the video, and you'll see your stack of those graduated bars, and click on that, and you can use that to lower your bandwidth to make your picture less jumpy, and your audio should get better too. give me a thumbs up, Charles, if you can hear what I'm saying. Well, what you been up to, Gerald?
Oh, just securing planes because we've got another event coming up at Easter. And we're putting together my profile model here after I dipped it the other day. So it's really back in one piece again.
All right.
And I've got to fix my other built-up model, my Messerschmitt. That was a two-piece model. I'm trying to get that one sorted out as well. And my other little scale model, I had 3 accidents recently. All of them came down to bad engineering. 2 of them with a flat connector. The flat connector came apart, and the other one with my wing mounting system came apart on the two-piece model. So I've got to ramp up my engineering a bit, and hopefully I'll have less repair work to do, and I can get back onto my old Magnum again.
I can pretty much understand what you're saying, but your audio is
Can
pretty.
you hear me, Rusty?
I hear you, Charles, now.
Yeah, we got you. Are you on your Logitech microphone, Gerald?
Yeah, I'm on that. I'll move it a bit closer.
It sounds better now.
I must have just been a little bit too far away.
Okay, Charles, we talked on Stunthangar the other night, didn't we? Can you hear me, Charles? I don't think Charles can hear me. All right, what you working on, Jamie?
Silly twister.
Yeah, I saw you on Facebook with that, working on your new twister. I'll tell you a secret, Jamie. My big profile model here is just a twister wing underneath. And I've just tweaked it a little bit, but it flies well for what's basically a very simple wing.
Yeah,
yeah, it is. Yeah, straight in every direction, and you know, the adding half ribs is good, but other people say it flies just fine without them too.
Yeah, I'm not putting it in this one. This one's just gonna stay stock pretty much.
It's nice to have a simple model that you can just practice with and have a convenient model to fly, one piece and simple. Always works well.
I mean, I'm only building this one to learn the pattern. So.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, just to have some planes you can knock around with, and then if it's still flyable when you get through learning the pattern, you take it to the contest because it'll be your most familiar airplane for flying.
Quite often, they're very competent at flying an advanced pattern. I'm talking about New Zealand here, but they'll end up reverting back to their backup profile model when they have an accident with their built-up model, their flash model. But it's always good to have some sort of backup fallback if you need it, just to keep you practice it.
Yeah, I always take a Plan B airplane with me if I've got it. I was running on one plane last year, that borrowed Tudor, but I managed to get through both contests with it and did pretty well. Flew in a regular gale up in Huntersville, and then Triple Tree was just the opposite. It was beautiful and calm. It got hot for second round, but other than that, it was great. May is always such a beautiful month here. So I guess that would be like your October. You know, both of those are perfect months for flying here. Dependable weather and not too extreme temperatures.
Yeah.
Charles, how you doing over there? Can you hear us and talk to us yet?
This picture seems to have locked as well. I know it's moving.
He's moving. We can see him moving, Charles. But yeah, he was saying on Stunthangar we were talking, and he was watching us the other night. Charles was watching us the other night on YouTube, and then commented that he was going to try to get on live with us, but evidently still got some audio video problems. Were you able to find your bandwidth setting? I'm gonna click over and
I
look
don't
at
have any volume. I can't hear you guys.
Oh, well, that sounded pretty good right there. I think you're cutting in and out is what it is. I'm gonna lock on Sparky's table and see what he's got. Okay, he's got a box of parts. That's I guess voodoo or something.
Yeah, it's voodoo
Number
5 and 6.
5 and 6. All right.
Yeah, I finished 4. I got that one done while I was here. Yeah. This one's done and ready to go.
All right. Nice monocoat job there.
Yeah, looks very good.
Because I'm at home here, I even super filled all the joints.
Yeah, I finally bought me some Superfill. I'm going to be trying it out for the first time pretty soon.
I can't lie. It took me a year, but I finally got some.
This one's probably going to be the best one I got because the controls are super free. This one's super light, and it just finished better. And it's got a carbon fiber spar in it.
Yeah, I remember you putting that in. Well, that's a real knife edge, a knife of a wing. It's not very thick. It just cuts through the air like a knife.
You don't need thick when you're going fast.
No, you don't. Pure horsepower.
Well, each one's been a gradual improvement, Sparky. A little bit more on each.
I've come up with another modification that I'm going to do. I'm going to put both booms together and make them a little longer with a 1/2-inch piece of balsa wood between them.
Yeah.
So it'll be one boom instead of 2.
Yeah. How do you think that'll affect it? Do you think it'll help the handling or be a little bit stronger?
Dude, I don't know. I forgot. I haven't flown one of these in 40 years.
That's what you call an experiment. We'll find out.
It'll be fun going through testing all 6 or 7 or however you've made at the end.
Might turn out to be the Voodoo 2 or 3. Voodoo 3. You got a short boom, long boom, and single boom.
How about an ultimate Voodoo with a Nelson motor on it?
I think a G2135 will be just fine. I really can't foresee a Nelson 36 being that much faster.
Well, you're limited. Unless you're sport flying, you're limited by rules on speed anyway.
No, not in fast combat. In slow combat, you're limited to 75.
Yeah, you're right. I forget because we don't do fast combat in my club, and so I don't get to
Still
see
no
that.
sound.
You got it. That when you said that, I heard it loud and clear. I heard you say still no sound. It sounded like you were right here in the room with me. Why don't you go up to the top and click your camera off and see if your sound improves?
No. Go up and click. Yeah, that's the speakers. What would the speakers be? That would be on the sound system. That would be the microphone settings, probably.
Yeah.
Make sure it's set to default or whatever sound card.
Yeah. Either default or whatever the name of your microphone is.
Hey, if I was gonna add a tip weight to a wing that doesn't require a tip weight or be furnished anyway, would I want to put it in the center of the wing?
somewhere between the center and the lead edge. Usually
Brittany, if you have any ideas, if you can send me a message through Stunthangar.
Okay.
Yeah, he can't hear us.
I have
so.
my volume all the way up. I can't hear you guys at
Oh, you
all.
can't hear us. Okay.
Log out and log back in. I don't know who it is. Do you know who it is?
Yeah, it's Charles. I forget his last name, but we talked on Stunthangar, and he was on YouTube the other night with us.
Send him a message. Tell him to log back in.
Okay. I'll see if I can find him. All right, I'm gonna go away from y'all, so I'll be back momentarily.
Bye, Tom.
So this is Voodoo Spy 6. I gotta go. I gotta see if I gotta pay for that other motor yet.
Please stand by while your host attends to forum business.
Can you hear us now, Charles? Maybe he needs to restart his computer.
Yeah, I think he needs to find his sound settings.
Send him a message on Stunthangar.
That's what I'm trying to do, but it's with the video and all going, it's just slow. I'm getting there. I know where to find him.
You on the final soon now, Tom? Or are you still filling?
He posted in the At the Bench thread the other night. That's where I'm trying to get. It's just running terribly slow. I got so much stuff going. Okay. Let's see.
Can you hear me, Rusty?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
hear you.
Yes, I can.
Give him a thumbs up. Pow!
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm not looking at the picture right now, but I think I gave him a thumbs up. All right.
George joined us.
Hey, Sparky, can you hear me?
Yes.
Charles Williams, that's what his name is. Okay. And I'm fixing to
I
send
don't
him.
know why I don't have my hand.
Restart your computer. Restart your computer. Turn it on and off.
I'm about to type it right now.
Yeah, I went over to that.
Got to turn his
Go
band.
to the control room.
No, go to the top. Go to the top. Up at the top. Mouse up to the top. T-O-P. Top. Okay.
You can read it. But
What does it say?
I just said try a restart of your computer. Charles, try a restart of your computer.
You need to back that up a little bit. You're taking too much of the camera with it.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
more. There. All right. There. Down. Go down with it. There you go.
Click on him so we can. Oh, let's try the chat. He's got the chat going.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll type in there while Rusty's doing the other.
I just sent him a message. I'm going to write it on a piece of paper and show it to him too.
Just tried that.
Okay.
Right on there. Dear Charles, if you voted for Obama, please not turn your mic on.
PM. Oh, there we go. PM sent.
Love always, forever and grateful, Stunthangar.
Okay, I got to minimize this now because it's chewing up my resources. All right, I'm back. Oh, hey, Jared, how you doing? I didn't even know you'd come in. And Tom. Okay, Charles disappeared, so he must be rebooting now.
Reboot.
How do y'all send that little pop-up over the thumbnails?
What's that?
How do y'all send that little pop-up over the thumbnails? Oh, I see. I hadn't got that chat box up. Got it.
Type into chat.
Yeah, I'm in it now. Well, at least if he can't get it going, he can communicate with us in the.
But he can't hear us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, well.
Nothing we can do on this end.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can have a video forum now that we've got some bugs getting worked out. What you been up to for fun, Jared?
Oh, not much fun. Just been working a lot. And I did make a trip out to Illinois, and I picked up a couple models that Jason Pearson had. One was a Temptation that Paul Pomposo actually built out in California. And it's pretty much an exact replica of Ted Fancher's Temptation from back in the 88, 89 Nats.
Yeah.
I got to put a coat of clear on it yet, and then it'll be pretty much ready to go. And he was planning on putting a OS 40 VF in it on a tune pipe, but I've never ran anything on a tune pipe. And
How you gotta get a tuna pipe?
Well, I ended up buying another plane that he had called a Savoy, and I believe that used to belong to Alan Brickhouse, and it also has an OS 40 VF in it, and that one has the tune pipe that I believe he was going to use on the Temptation. Of course, you know, he got killed in that ultralight crash, so can't ask him if that was what he intended on doing. But so I bought both the planes, that way I'd have the plane and the tune pipe. But so I got to start working on that. I was going to ask you, Sparky. I guess he was using, you know, butyrate dope products, and I guess Paul's did the main colors with Brodak dope. But what would I use for a clear, for a final clear on that?
Well, if you want to stay with dope, use Randolph. If you don't want to stay with dope, use automotive. But I wouldn't. Too heavy.
Okay. Because I talked to Derek Berry, and he gave me a part number for DuPont for, you know, an automotive acrylic lacquer. He says it's pretty hard to come by. And then I've been watching your videos get on YouTube, and I see you use Randolph, and so I was, you know, going to see about maybe doing that too, but wasn't sure which way to go.
You can spray Randolph dope over any other dope. You can't spray Aerogloss over anything. You can't spray SIG over Randolph.
Okay.
So
I just bought some dope from Brodak. Realized that the clear dope, they got two different kinds of clear dope. One's number 1085 crystal clear, and the other one's number 1082 just plain.
Want to know what the difference is?
I figured that one of them's got some UV protectant in it.
$1.
Yeah, that too.
There ain't no difference. I mean, I've been using Roundoff Clear forever.
Yeah.
We used to use certified. We used to get at El Monte Airport when I lived in Los Angeles. But certified, and it's all made at the same place, by the way. Roundoff dope, certified Brodak dope is all made by Roundoff in California.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Brodak
Rusty,
didn't necessarily use the same formula, don't they? Get it custom mixed.
is this what you're talking about, Rusty?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. I got 1 can of each.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I didn't know if there was any difference or not, but yeah, I guess like Sparky says, they're the same damn thing.
I think one might have some UV protectant in it. I don't know, but I'll find out. I'm about to.
Here's the thing about that. I've never tried to spray Brodak dope over any other type of dope. Now, Brodak and Randolph are very similar, but there is something in Brodak dope that makes it smell different. So that might be a different chemical. So make sure you try it on a test piece before you spray your whole model. You might end up with wrinkle finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't planning on using this on that Temptation. I haven't even done any dope at all, so I've got a plane that I was just going to try this stuff on. And then I was talking to Derek Berry, too, about thinners. He said don't buy the thinner from Brodak because it's actually overpriced, and you can buy other stuff that'll work. And I actually have the thinner that he said to use.
3608S, don't use it.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if that's what it was.
DuPont?
Yeah.
3680S.
Yeah, and then I think there was another one. Hold on, I'm scrolling through my messages. Let's see. Okay, he said 3608S you can use with SIG dope.
Right?
Which I have there.
Right? Which is certified.
And then he said to use 3602S with Brodak.
I would use by Randolph dope with Randolph thinner, but you do what you want. I've done all that mixing of thinners and stuff, and I haven't had real good, stellar response, outcomes with it.
Okay.
When you mix 3680S with Randolph, it's kind of milky. It doesn't, I don't know, there's something different about it. It doesn't quite work right.
So what happens if you do the 3608S with this stuff?
I told you, 3608, Brodak and Randolph are basically the same thing with one extra chemical. I've never tried it, but hey, knock yourself out. Let us know how it works.
Well, because like I said, I'm learning. I'm trying to figure it out too. And I was actually going to do a little test batch. Hang on a second.
Can I cut on again? Did you say SIG and Randolph don't intermix? You can't put Randolph over SIG? Is that right, Spud?
I wouldn't.
Oh, because I've got a model that needs refinishing and it's got SIG on it, and we can't get SIG here anymore in New Zealand. So I was just going to use Randolph. So
dust it with DC 540, and that way any of the wrinkling that'll go on will go on. Then you can sand it off. Then you can spray anything you want over it.
Yeah.
You see, I actually have in this jar is that 3608S lacquer thinner that I got from over at my dad's house. So I was going to take a little mixing jar, and put some of this in, and then mix that lacquer thinner in, and just let it sit there and see what it does.
Oh, it'll mix. It'll mix okay. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but painting is a chemistry experiment.
Yeah.
Paint is if you have two different. The reason why I have 2 quarts of Aerogloss dope, I don't use it, even though it's the best dope, is because I can't get the thinner. Nothing thins it. Nothing. I'm sure that acetone would probably thin it, but then that's a problem. things have to be compatible. So when you start mixing one brand to the look on YouTube, every custom painter will tell you, don't mix brands. It's not worth it. Is it worth it to you to spend $300 on your model in paint, and then because the thinner is $10 a gallon cheaper, ruin your whole model? I mean,
so you're saying, so with this, I should go ahead and order the Brodak thinner if I'm going to use this?
I would, yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I think that would be the smart way to go. Although I hear people say, you know, this works and that works, but that doesn't always stand the test of time either.
I mean, that's just like me. I'm not doing things right, but this is working for me because of my situation, you see. But I prefer the all dope and the Randolph with the Randolph thinner, because when I remember, it's been a while, but when I was in A&P school, when we did doping, and one of the aircraft regs was whatever you use for dope, you use the same brand that is made to thin it.
And so you're saying Sparky Aerogloss, they're defunct, right? They're not around anymore to make the thinner for the dope?
Right. You can't get, I have two, what is that noise? Raining. I have 2 quarts of clear Aerogloss dope. And it's the best stuff going. But it's useless to me because I can't get any thinner.
Okay, because my dad has Aerogloss sanding sealer, but yeah, no thinner, and then also balsa filler,
But no thinner.
right?
So you might as well throw it out, just like what I'm going to end up doing. I just open the can up every once in a while just to get a whiff.
Right.
Let me see here. Where is it?
Or when you build just an old beater to knock around with, take a brush and paint it on with no thinner. I don't know.
See, here's what I got going.
I don't know. Sparky does old beaters. That's his problem. I do plenty of old beaters. I've always got a rough model I can chuck it on.
I can't even find it. Oh, here it is.
Skycat.
Here's a brand new quart. Brand new quart.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I got some ambroid. I take the ambroid and smooth it on a piece of wood and set it on the bench. And every once in a while, I open this can up. Just to get a whip.
Model is perfume, eh?
One more kick to the liver.
See, it's full all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Now, I just found this off of Google. I don't know how real it is, but it has 3.5 ounces of Aerogloss thinner for
$10.
$1 plus $47 shipping.
Yeah. Man, you need a hell of a lot more than 3.5 ounces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Times that times
We got a hobby shop in town over here. They have some Aerogloss stuff. And I want to say I seen a bottle of thinner when I was there the other day, but it might have been the sanding sealer, I think. I'm not quite sure. But it's on sale from $8 to $1. That's what it is.
Well, I'd love to find a gallon of Aerogloss thinner, that's for sure.
amainhobbies.com.
And so you're saying you can't put Aerogloss over anything?
Nothing. Can't even put that over urethane.
Okay.
That stuff is so hot, it will wrinkle it. It'll eat it right down to the metal in a heartbeat.
Okay. And so
I think that's the MEK in it. That's the main shit.
3608S lacquer thinner is no good either for Aerogloss? Is either?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, well, I got to make sure I let my dad know that because he's about ready to mix a batch up and try it on a plane on Sunday.
It's either you can either, if you want to thin it, you could either use MEK, MIK, or acetone, but it's still not right, you know.
Okay.
It's not, it'll thin it, it'll clean the brush without making curdles, but as far as thinning it to spray, I wouldn't trust it.
Okay.
How many ounces is in a gallon? I'm dumb. We can't figure it out.
32 times 4,
32. So.
128.
128, yeah.
Because anyways, I've got this little sport plane that's ready to start doping, and I was gonna, do my first dope job on that one.
Looks like Jamie's smoking.
Try an experiment. Try all your chemistry experiments on that. That way, when it screws up, you can throw it away and you didn't ruin a model.
Right. Well, that's exactly my plan.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, let us know how it goes, but I've had very bad luck with mixing product.
I'm normally game to try because we don't have a whole lot of selection here in New Zealand. So even when you go to a legitimate panel beater suppliers, I'll sell you mixed brands. I'll sell you one brand of hardener and another brand of paint. You know, when you're mixing up 2-pack, and you just think that's not right, and they just say, well, that's what we've got, and you're pretty much stuffed sometimes because you can't get the same brand when you go back again because it's constantly changing depending on what run out stock they can get. So I'm not too fussy, but I pay the price sometimes when it doesn't work.
And you're saying you can't get that there where you're at?
No, we used to be able to. We had a shop called 436 Hobby Shop, and that's where I got my SIG products in the past, but they're not what they used to be. They just want to sell ready-to-flies and electric stuff. Very few places here are actually selling engines and fuel now.
Well, Brodak can ship to you.
You would have to sea freight it from Brodak, and I suppose I could check with Brodak, see if they'd send it, but I've been able to get the Randolph products through the full-size aviation suppliers, and I'll just carry on with the Randolph stuff because the full-size aviators obviously use a lot more product than aeromodelers do, so they're a safer source. So,
yeah, because a quart of dope, I think now is like $29 for a quart of white or a quart of whatever, and a quart of dope from Brodax is probably $80. So you get a whole lot more from the from Wix or Aircraft Spruce or one of those places.
Yeah.
I was shopping Brodax the other day because Bob was going up there and he brought me back some stuff, and I bought some Randolph dope. It was advertised as Randolph brand vermilion red, and he was selling quartz for reduced to $5.99, and he had several colors, limited quantity, and so I bought 2 quarts of the vermilion red Randolph, $5.99 each.
Quarts or pints?
Quarts.
As big as that can I just showed there?
Yeah. Is that a pint?
That's a quart.
Yeah. Yeah, it was reduced from about $19, I think.
Red is the most expensive color, and if I'd have known that, I'd have bought everything they had.
You might still have some. I found it under clearance, I think, and since it was so cheap, I went ahead and bought it. So that was a good deal for me. 11 bucks and change for 2 of them. And I didn't have anything planned for it, but I like red and I know I'll use it, so went ahead and got it. Now I probably will mix it with Brodax thinner.
I think you should mix it with white.
What'd you say?
You mix your quart of red with a quart of white.
Pink. I don't want a pink plane.
even my wife doesn't want a pink plane. When I told her, I said, "You want a pink plane?" She said, "No, what, blue?" So obvious.
Well, Rusty, you might get lucky. You might come out fuchsia or magenta.
Purple. my old ringmaster, I did it a Ford color, a Ford Victorian purple years and years ago. It's like 25 years ago, and It was unusual. Everybody, you're into your purple planes. But
guy in my motorcycle club that I belonged to, he had painted his motorcycle with custom color. What is that? House of Color. A purple, but it really looked like pink, so I called it Puce.
What is that nasty color that the traditional shoestrings painted with? It's a greenish yellow.
Chartreuse.
Chartreuse, yeah, that's one of the ugliest colors I've ever seen.
The 48 Cadillac color.
I think it's kind of neat. It's kind of like a safety yellow green.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
You know,
It's a 1948 Cadillac color.
It's a little like vomit to me.
I have a pint of it right there to touch up my shoestring.
I painted my shoestring red and black.
I like the idea of purple when I was young, because deep purple, everything was rock and roll music. So.
Oh, somebody talked about a plane. Jared was mentioned a plane called a Savoy, and reminded me of one of my favorite old blues bands, the early Savoy Brown. Are you familiar with them, Gerald?
Yeah, I remember that.
Kim Simmons, before they started, they kind of broke up. Kim Simmons split off, and Lonesome Dave started playing rock. But yeah, that early Savoy Brown, some great music. Charles just joined us. Oh, hey, Charles. Let's do a sound test. Can you hear us?
Mic's off.
Can you hear us, Charles?
Oh, his mic's.
Nothing.
Oh, we see him.
Yeah, we can see you, Charles. But
it's frustrating, isn't it? That you can't always know what's going on with somebody else's setup. And like last week with the chat, and it turned out to be a Google problem. What a waste.
Yeah, nobody's chiming in on the chat box tonight.
Did y'all see that Walter Umlin's coming out with the Combat Cat twin pack?
Oh, sounds good.
Oh yeah, like $104 for the introductory price for twin kits. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
I was busy typing. What kind of plane did you say?
Yeah, the Combat Cats.
Can you hear us now, Charles?
He's still working on it. Once in a while, no, he never did hear us. I don't know.
Frustrating.
Find a 12-year-old.
Find a 12-year-old.
With an app on your computer.
Oh, there's another strike against Sparky.
They can fix it though in a second because they play games.
My two boys are really too much into flying model planes and doing as I do, so they're not techno whizzes, so I couldn't ask my two sons. Trouble at school because they don't want to use the tablets and stuff at school.
Let's see, when I came here, it snowed like a bitch. Now it's starting to rain when I'm getting ready to go back.
John Sanchez just joined the chat.
John Sanchez, Facebook legend.
You know him?
Yep. Just off of Facebook, though.
We got 6 viewers watching us.
I don't do face nose.
Yeah.
Stunthangar used to have a Facebook page until I found out Mark Zuckerberg was a CIA agent. You don't believe that? Type it into Google. Zuckerberg received CIA award. No, there's a video, a YouTube video of him getting the award.
Well, that proves it.
What?
I say that proves it.
Club president got us to join Facebook. He got me to join Facebook because he puts all the club details on Facebook. So I reluctantly signed up to Facebook.
Okay. C8, check the speaker, SPE8 speaker at VO bottom of your window. Make sure VOLUME CUR up.
Yeah, I told him to right click, double click on his volume icon down there, and it'll bring up the sound control board.
Sure. VO of
Humdinger.
So, John Sanchez, how you doing out there? You been flying anything lately?
Here's that that Savoy airplane I was telling you about.
Yeah, CF Slattery. Yeah, I know all about that airplane.
Let me click on that.
Yeah, so I have that one now. What is CF Slattery? Who's that?
Another guy that's dead. He built all the paint stands. Shit, now I can't remember his name. Oh crap! Been years since he's been gone. Byron Barker. Hey, we hear you, Charles.
Got a phone ringing.
Booty call.
Phone ring.
Mark Zuckerberg would advise to get your mic working.
No, I know what's wrong. It's in his microphone. Plug and unplug the mic. Plug and unplug mic.
Oh shit!
Heard the ring. So it's not.
And then here I'll show you the that other plane, the Temptation, the Ted Fancher Temptation.
Ooh.
That's it there right after I picked it up. That's in St. Louis at Booter Park next to my Strega.
Who built that?
Paul Pomposo out in California.
I don't know him.
I'll kind of click through some of the pictures of it. But it's supposed to be 615 square inch wing. It's about 59-inch wingspan. And it's set up for a OS 40 VF.
Yeah. And the Savoy has a 46 in it?
No, they both have 40 VFs, but the Savoy has the tune pipe that I believe he was going to use on that plane. That's why I bought the Savoy, is basically just for the tune pipe.
Yeah, that'll work. How much does the Ted Fancher plane weigh now?
Let me look here. I know the Savoy weighed 66 ounces, but that's with the motor before fuel.
And no paint on. Oh, the Savoy, yeah.
Just
Okay.
Savoy. Yeah. No, I've got it on my phone here. I got to scroll to it and find it.
Looks like John Sanchez got into too much wind and wrecked his plane. What kind of plane was it, John? It's been windy here too. We hadn't had a day in the past 2 or 3 months that wasn't either windy or rainy or both.
Okay, it weighs 41 ounces right now, the Temptation.
Wow.
That's not bad at all.
That's without a motor and paint on it. That would be a 70-ounce airplane.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no motor.
There's no motor. Yeah, no motor. I mean, it needs a coat of clear and then the motor and pipe.
So how much does it weigh again?
41.
41 and 20. That's 66, boy. Yeah,
That's the state it's in right now. It needs the motor and the pipe, fuel tank, and a coat of clear.
yeah, you better be real careful with the clear. I would not use automotive on it because automotive is whatever sprayed there stays there. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Alvin.
So basically, order some Randolph just to do the clear on that one. Then was what you're saying, right?
But I would do a test spot on it first. Do you know what it's painted with?
Supposedly, it's supposed to be Brodak stuff.
Yeah.
Let me confirm. I got it on my phone.
You use Brodak clear on it. But stick with one thing. Jim, you sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Well, no, yeah, wait a minute. Let me look at something.
That plane that John said he wrecked was his own design.
Jim is Alvining again. Every time he comes on, he does that, doesn't he?
At least it's entertaining. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang.
Ting tang, oh, baby.
Oh, crap.
Jim, you're probably gonna have to shut it all down and then just go to Stunthangar, get the link, and come back instead of go through YouTube.
Is that us feedbacking that we're
No,
Chipmunk?
that's Jim's system. He'll get it fixed. He always does. Did you? Oh, you just typed. It leads me to believe there's a problem with the mic, but this is sound that ain't working.
I'm talking about Charles. He's got a problem with the mic because we heard his test sound come through.
Yeah, we did, and we heard him talk a few times too, just briefly. But he can't hear anything we say.
Here comes Jim.
Okay, I'm not actually sure what product he used for the colors on that, but when I messaged Paul, he said use SIG Clearview Turret Dope or Brodak Dope would be fine.
Yeah.
And then when I picked up the plane from Jason's wife, I kind of looked all around his basement to try to find clear to see what he was probably using. And he had a couple cans of Randolph stuff there. So maybe that's what he was using. So
I hate to give you any advice and then something screw up.
Yeah, be your fault, Sparky. What happened? Why'd you do that?
Use the Brodak.
Use Brodak?
If that's what he was using, if that's what it's painted with.
Well, see, I don't know if it's painted with that, but that's what the guy is telling me. He said that would work, or what was the other one? SIG Clearview Turret Dope.
Write him back and ask him if Randolph will work.
Okay.
That way it's on him. He's the guy who painted it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to blow anybody up. I'm just trying to figure out, what would be the best for me to use. Because then he suggested using an automotive clear, but he said be extremely careful because it adds on a lot of weight, so.
It'll be way too heavy. I've already calculated in my mind. It'll be way too heavy.
So either this stuff and get some Brodak thinner or use Randolph. These basically my two options.
Hey, we can see Charles now.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
That's a different Charles, though.
Yeah. We lost our other Charles because his
The other Charles was
no.
white.
not working.
He morphed into a black man. What the hell? It's springtime after all.
Yes. Springtime at the Apollo Theater.
Charles is now communicating with us over on YouTube. So watch that chat box and he can talk with us.
All right.
Sorry about that, Charles. Maybe you can tinker with it between shows and figure out what the heck's wrong with it. That's to Charles Williams' message there. So what's up, Charles Carter?
Well, I went flying a little bit today. Flew both the Oriental and the Strega. And they both need tank shims, but they're opposite. One needs to raise the tank and one needs to lower the tank.
What do you do that for?
Well, one is slow on outsides and the Oriental is fast on outsides.
Yeah, I saw what Brent Buck said about testing. What's the best stunt to test the tank shims with? That was your thread, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the round eights, round horizontal eights.
And it was interesting. That was quite fascinating reading the degree of 1/64th increments that people work with.
That's hard to believe a 64th would do anything noticeable.
Well, the reason why I brought that thread up is because I was talking to somebody, and he said he even uses pieces of paper.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how extreme do other people get? So that's why I put that thread up.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Plastic playing cards were good, and that's probably about a 64th.
Yeah, I like that idea because it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty anal to me.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Sparky, I resemble that remark.
Yeah, I'm kind of a that's good enough guy when it comes to that. I have enough trouble flying the shapes without worrying about tiny differences between inverted and upright, but maybe that level of acceptance is why I progress slowly.
Probably my problem too. I'm Rusty. I'm too casual, and I see the other guys doing a lot better, and I think, well, yeah, you're a lot more particular and careful, and you follow a systematic approach, and it works. Yeah.
I have a hard time when I go out to the field to fly practice to focus and concentrate like I do in a contest, because every best flight I've ever flown has been in a contest because I'm concentrating and focusing. But when I go out to the field, I try to fly good, but I just have a hard time clamping my head onto it like I do when they're just watching.
Yeah, I have the same problem, Rusty. That's why I go to contests, because I love how extremely focused I get at a contest. I just love that kind of flying in the zone, which I can't replicate in practice.
My son Otto is really good at that. He really works under pressure well, and he's sort of very focused. He's just got he actually comes across as being in control. He looks very authoritative behind the handle and photogenic, so people take pictures of him while he's flying, which is funny.
Get your mouse fixed.
Mouse?
His chipmunk. Did you get the chipmunk fixed, Jim?
I don't know. Did I?
Yeah.
Well, the twister wasn't it? You had an incident with the twister, and he's we got his sound fixed. Yeah.
You know what we got to do to Jim now?
Oh,
Am I doing it again?
Oh, I didn't know what you were talking about. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, now it all clicks together. Yeah.
Whenever Howard would join us, and every time Howard would join us with the same shit every time.
So I'm sounding like a chipmunk again?
No, you're all right.
You sound like someone from Texas.
But what would have been funny is if you'd have sounded okay and we sounded like chipmunks. That'd have screwed you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, y'all kind of are.
Yeah.
Another
Well, I got 2 more of these to go, and then I'm done voodooing, I think.
All right.
So you're going to have 6, Sparky?
Yep.
Awesome.
Gotta build them and sell them.
No, I'm not selling. Building and crashing.
What are you going to do after that, Sparky? Have you got the next plan after the voodoos?
Yeah, but it's framed up. It's ready to be put together. I just been off in voodoo land.
Yeah.
I suppose as long as you don't take like Windy did and get back into bikes again and forget all about it or something.
No.
Let me look over here and see what Tom's doing. He's brushing something on. What's he brushing on there, Tom?
Putting silk span on the flap.
Hey, Sparky, I got one more question about the Randolph stuff. On the website, they show 2 different types of butyrate clear dope. One is tautening and one is not tautening.
Yeah.
Which do you use?
For everything I do, I use tautening butyrate.
Okay.
Non-tautening is like nitrate. It's for sticking the covering down, but I don't use that. I only use the same compatible product all the way through.
When you use tautening butyrate on things like the flaps, and they curl one way, but when you paint the other side, they just usually curl right back straight. Is that what happens with you?
Well, I try to paint both sides at the same time.
Yeah, it dries so fast. I guess you just got to be quick.
Well, that's really interesting. I thought that tautening just keeps shrinking forever.
Probably does.
It never stops shrinking.
Yeah, that's the point. I have heard that.
Yes.
I use some butyrate non-shrink dope as well, where I sometimes mix it to get a weak dope so it's not so strong when I don't want it to shrink too much, especially if you're working on a free flight model where you don't want too much shrink to just warp the buggery.
See, I do something that most don't, is I still plasticize my dope.
Yeah. Bit of castor oil or?
Yeah, 1 drop per ounce.
What's that?
Plasticizing. I've got to go and get
plasticize my dope.
Now, do you only do that on your final finish of dope, or do you do that all the way through, Sparky?
All the way through.
And so you put 1 drop of castor oil in how much dope?
Per ounce. If you got 10 ounces, 10 drops.
Wow, okay.
What's the castor oil do?
Plasticizer keeps it from cracking and splitting.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
I do all kind of things that I don't tell people, because if it screws up, I don't want to be responsible.
I'll be back. I've just got to unload the car for my wife and put everything in the freezer, so I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, Charles, I'm fixing to send you I'm going to screen share a picture and see if you've tried what I'm going to show you.
Let's hope it's not X-rated.
Charles Williams is on listening to us on YouTube and typing into the chat box. So I'm going to show him a picture.
Is that the one that couldn't talk to?
Yeah, that's who I was talking to. Sorry.
Can he hear us when he's over there?
Yeah. Okay, Charles.
Okay, Sparky, you said one drop per 1 ounce, right?
Right.
I screwed my screen share up.
Great, keeping my brain from fogging over here.
What kind of castor oil you use? Like bean oil or?
Like castor oil you get at any drugstore.
Oh.
So not the castor oil we use in our fuel?
That'll work. It's all castor oil.
Yeah. Yeah, but the one that you get in the drugstore, isn't it clear?
Yeah, more or less.
More or less. Well, the bean oil, it's red. It's got a dye in it. So
click on your screen, Rusty, so that
okay, it is. Okay, Charles Williams, how about click on my thumbnail at the bottom of your screen and look and see if you've opened those controls on in the video window, in the video chat window. If you mouse up to the top and hit that gear icon, and you'll see these controls, and you can tinker with them and then hit save and see if your speakers if anything can be done with your speakers there.
Also show him bandwidth.
Okay. I'll have to take another picture to do that. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing that now. All right. Let me go take another picture of the bandwidth.
Show them where to find it at the top.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Because I bet if you lowered his bandwidth, he'd come in. I think is that your problem, Jim? When you're Mickey Mousing, you got too much.
No, I had another speaker hooked up to my computer, and I just unplugged it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, now get my screen share icon.
Show him a picture of a 12-year-old gamer. Ask any kid down the street. He'll have you up and going in 2 minutes. Jamie, are you ever going to finish any of those airplanes, or are you just going to build them and then forget them?
That's what I plan on finishing.
I see a lot of hanging ones back there.
Damn it.
Yeah. I mean, that one right there, man, that's just a little Brodang lightning streak. That one probably never get finished. I don't know.
Whatever happened to the one guy from Illinois that built the flight streak? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Oh, that's Frank. He's from Pennsylvania.
Frank.
He's got some family health issues going on. Yeah. He's going through what me and my wife went through with my wife's mom. So it's like a roller coaster for him right now.
Yeah, he'll be back eventually. We still keep in contact with him.
So Sparky, I got a question. If it's to try as an experiment, if I mix this 3608S with some of this Brodak stuff in a jar, and it's not gonna work right, will it do anything funny looking in the jar mixed as to look at, or
it'll probably cloud up?
Okay, so if it turns cloudy, it's no good.
Not right.
Okay.
Okay, Charles Williams, can you see the picture of the controls at the top of our video window? You got that gear I was talking about to get to your mic controls, and you've got the one to the left of it, the bars. It looks like a cell phone power signal, and that's how you lower and raise your bandwidth, but I don't think that's where your problem is. But now let me stop sharing and come back and see if he's
Well, that's a
seen.
handsome guy you got on there.
Yeah, it was. I don't know who that is.
Mhm.
Okay. He saw the bandwidth and tinkered with the mic and speaker settings. He does have the Hangouts app installed. Okay, he's going back to tinker one more time.
Just go to Stunthangar and get the link off Stunthangar, and don't always on his phone. Is that right? He's on a phone?
No, I don't think so. I think he's on a PC. I didn't even ask him. Trial, usually if you have problems, lower the bandwidth. I run mine on medium, but you can go lower than that. That's not going to stop you from hearing us, though.
Yeah, well, it might.
Maybe. But I think changing your speakers and changing them back and then saving. Remember to save after you do that.
Here comes
Okay,
Alvin.
he's on a computer.
Alvin.
Alvin's on the telephone with his mic muted right now. Oh, I got, yeah, y'all got my face locked in. Okay. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, we don't want to see you.
Yeah, I cut myself off. It's only the YouTubers that got locked onto me. I have to hit another button to make y'all see me.
Okay, there you go.
Should I mix this about 50-50, Sparky?
Yep, give it a try.
Yeah, painting and finishing is really intimidating and apprehensive, you know, when you start. But once you start in and do a couple of them, you get more comfortable.
After you mix that up, shake it up real good, then take a small brush, turn your temptation over, and brush a little half-inch square on the elevator or something that you won't see, and see if it raises the paint off.
Well, I don't have that plane here.
Oh,
That's over at my dad's house yet.
but that's how you test it.
Being old.
I went out to the shop today. I wanted to get some work done on the Cardinal, but the cold concrete floors is such
That's
a
probably
life
air bubbles so far.
Yeah, this is all just air bubbles. I just shook it all up, so I'll let it sit here a little bit and we'll see what it does.
Yeah, it should settle out pretty quick.
But that's Rodak, regular clear dope, and then that 3608S DuPont.
Yeah, 3608S, the S stands for slow. Don't paint that with high humidity, though.
I thought slow was what you did with high humidity, so the moisture had time to evaporate too.
Don't paint that with high humidity.
Okay.
3608.
Yep, I did. I know what happens. That's a no-go. The humidity is bad.
Yeah.
It's lush.
Yeah.
Well, what it did was it evaporated faster with more heat, and then it wouldn't adhere to my surface of my plane. So
Okay, Charles Williams, can you hear us now?
Pardon?
Oh,
I
sorry.
said, okay, Charles Williams, can you hear us now?
Oh.
Is he in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see him. He's next to the other Charles.
Yeah, Charles and Charles are right next to each other. Reach out there and knock him, Charles.
Is it to the left or to the right of me?
He's to your left.
Right.
Yeah, give him some percussive maintenance. Maybe it'll start working.
Not working.
There you go. It's not funny to him probably because you're not necessarily in the same place on everybody's row of thumbnails.
He is on mine.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
It is, but you know, I hate it when we have technical problems. But at least our watchers, maybe if they've been frustrated by
Can
problems,
you guys hear me?
then they
Yes. Yeah, we hear you.
Yep.
yeah.
Can you hear us?
Hey, Charles.
Like talking to yourself, huh, Charles?
Not exactly. If I woke up, went in the mirror, and I saw Charles, that would kind of like, what happened? What's going on here?
Hey, Jared, what does Pruitt Nova mean?
Oh, it's a Pro ET, which is the class that I used to drag race in.
Chevy 2. Is it a Chevy 2 Nova?
Yeah, and then my car is a 1970 Chevy Nova.
Oh, 70. Okay.
The class I used to race in was called Pro ET, which stands for Pro Elapsed Time.
Oh, okay. I thought the first time I saw it, I thought maybe there was a Russian guy joining us because it sounds like a Pruitt
Hear
Nova.
me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Rush.
Oh, that's interesting. I always thought, I was wondering what your name meant, Jared. I see your name on your YouTube channel. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, that's what it meant. Back when I was starting the YouTube, I thought I was going to be putting a lot of videos on from racing, and then it wasn't shortly after that I kind of got out of the heavy racing I was doing and back more on airplanes. So,
Yeah, very cool.
here's what this is looking like. It's pretty clear now that all the air bubbles have come out of it.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it's curdling and boiling. Hadn't blown the top off the bottle yet.
Oh, that's nice and clear.
Jared, what did you mix in the end? You mixed,
I mixed this stuff.
Yep.
All right.
And then 3608S DuPont lacquer thinner.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you just need to try out a piece of balsa or something and see how it goes. Or on a bit of cardboard would probably be a good way too, where it's got gloss paint or something on it to see if it reacts.
And see, I've got this plane that's been covered. It has one coat of something on it. I don't know what, but you can see it's kind of shiny.
Yeah.
So it has something on it. I don't know what. It might be aerogloss. I don't know. But I got this as basically a test plane for me to just experiment finish on.
But use crayons like Tom does.
Yep.
He takes his kids' crayons and he melts them all down. He pours it into a bottle and brushes it on, and then whatever.
Yep. Puts it in your brush bottle and sprays it on there, man. Voila.
It only costs 36 cents.
$3.50.
Take you all the way, Gerald. Take you all the way.
Kind of like polishing a turd, ain't it?
Yeah, because if this stuff ended up working, I bought the Miss Ashley red and then the white, and I was going to try to do like kind of a red and white GB scheme on this thing if the stuff turns out.
Hey, Gerald, I'll be bringing these planes to Polk City, so you'll see what the $3.50 paint job looks like.
Right? I should be there.
Great for warbirds, but I don't know, man. You know, like a Vector or an SV11 or something like that. I don't think so, man. I'd have to have a high class paint job on them.
Well, yeah, that's more what I'm trying to go for.
Where are you going to get one of those, Tom?
Huh?
Where are you going to get one of those?
What's that?
A high-class paint job.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to save my pennies. I'm gonna have to start buying dope because I want to go all dope. Everything dope.
Costs $300 to paint an airplane.
Right. I know it. One of these days I'll get there. I'll get there. But
You had to choose. What do you take? A Johnson Combat Special 36 or a Fox 36X?
Johnson. Oh no, Fox. A 36X BB or just a 36X?
I think it's the ball bearing. That's what the front of it looks like. We're gonna get that bearing.
It'll say BB on it.
Okay, no, and it's not. I don't know how well you could actually see it, but
On eBay?
no, another place.
It looks like. Does it have a rectangular back plate on it?
It's hard to tell from the picture. To
The
be honest.
back plate goes all the way up the cylinder on the combat motor.
Okay, no, not this one. It's just at the bottom.
That's super old. I would go with the Johnson. But
I think this one is the 3-bolt back plate. The way this looks. No, that's different engine. Never mind.
Steve Banks is with us now. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going? Jamie,
Okay.
Yeah.
glad you're not in your bikini, man. I'm afraid to get on here tonight.
Yeah. Still young. Nice, still young.
Did you have trouble hooking up or something?
Me?
Yeah.
No, on Facebook, he posted he lost weight or whatever in his bikini time. I told him I didn't want to see that no matter how much weight he lost.
Yeah, ditto that.
Reached our maximum number of participants now.
Yeah, I can't believe how many's in tonight.
Yeah, it's actually Frank.
Yeah, we got lunch.
hey, Steve, I figured you'd be joining me in the sanding party.
I've done a lot. Well, Samantha and everything. It's not sanding primer though. It's just getting all the God, I can't that fill stuff. Blue stuff.
Fillets.
Yeah, doing fillets and
The
doing all
fillets on
that
this
kind of
thing.
stuff.
There's 30 fillets, 30 places of fillets on this plate.
Super fill. That's what I'm trying to think of the name of that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I got some of that stuff too. I got to try. I just came in the mail the other day. The super fill.
see these fillets here? Super fill. You know how much sanding I did on them? 0.
I'm looking forward to trying it.
The more you use it, the better you get. Then you can you don't even need to sand it.
Well, guys, I'm going to get off here. I got a long drive in the morning.
Hey, Sparky, I got one more question before you go.
Okay.
I don't know what this plane is covered in. If it's silk span or something else, it's probably not polyspan. But see how it's a little loose there?
Yeah, hit it with a heat gun. See what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it doesn't shrink up, rip it off and put a piece of silk span on it or something else.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking I was going to try. So,
Does it have any dope on it at all?
on the covering, I don't believe so, but I think on the wood there is. See how it's shiny?
Yeah.
So I think he brushed something on the wood, but I don't know what's been done on the covering. There maybe have been a coat of something on it.
Well,
And from the guy I got it from in the time
it's not going to shrink up, so you might as well just get used to the idea. You're gonna have to rip it off, put some paper on it.
Okay. If I had to guess, I would say it was probably Aerogloss because this plane's been in this guy's basement for years. So.
Well, here's what you might want to try. You have a heat gun, a monocoat heat gun?
Yeah, I got one.
Get yourself a spray bottle of water or Windex. You got Windex there?
Yeah.
You can do it right now. Spray it with Windex and hit it with a heat gun and see if it shrinks up. Get it soaking wet and then go back and forth. I'll wait till you do that and then I'll sign
All right.
off.
Give me a minute.
Pretty cool tutorial on here.
This is what's known as pulling a rabbit, because as I've explained, silk span doesn't really shrink. It relaxes and you stretch it, the wrinkles out of it while you're putting it on. And then as it dries, it goes back to its original state, making you believe that it shrunk, but it didn't. It just went back to its original shape.
So they've got to put along weight so you do get that shrink.
If this works, I'll be amazed.
Well, if it was said coverall or the Brodeck fabric covering, it would shrink up nicely with a bit of heat. So that's got more of a fabric look to it as well.
And Sparky, when are you going to start flying some of your combat planes?
As soon as the weather breaks.
It's supposed to be 50 here this weekend. I don't know what it's going to be down there by you, if it's even going to be warmer.
I doubt it. It was raining about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and there's rain tomorrow, and for us too. I'm about
get tomorrow, and on the weekends turning to crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be 82 degrees Monday over here.
Okay, so I got the Windex.
Okay, spray, soak the wing down.
Okay.
Get the heat gun, start heating it up, drying it out, and see what happens.
That's a quiet heat gun. I don't have one of those. I just use a regular old paint stripping heat gun, and try to be careful with it because it'll flat blow it up.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of attachments for my gun.
Is that heat gun stronger than a hair dryer that Jared's using?
Stronger than a hairdryer, but not as strong as what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always use a damn hair dryer. I got a heat gun, one of the monocoat deals like that. I just use a hair dryer.
I don't use a gun much. I usually just use the iron for everything, but once in a while, if I really gotta do some serious shrinking, I'll use it. Maybe around the wingtips where there's tiny crinkly wrinkles. You can take them out with that. Yeah. But I don't blow it over the bays.
Oh, I do.
I just do one bay at a time, over, under, all the way down the wing, and try not to stick it to the ribs.
I'll tack it around the base, and then I'll come out with the gun and.
Yeah, that's the same way I do it too.
And it just tightens right up.
It is shrinking up.
Yeah.
Hold it up there. Let's see.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah,
doing real good.
Yeah, your first dope job. Way to go.
Do the other side now, so it doesn't warp.
Okay.
Yeah, you can eyeball it and see if you.
Okay, so since this is shrinking up, what is that telling us then? That it has been doped?
No, it doesn't mean anything.
It could be heat shrink fabric, like the coverall fabric or the Brodeck fabric that heat shrinks.
That cover rate? It would be safe to dope over this then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it bags up with dope on it, heat it up. Got to get them wrinkles out of it. See, I never run into problems like this because I don't buy models, that I didn't build. So I know what's on the airplane.
Yeah.
Now, do you spray?
Down airplanes, and yeah, man, I feel the same way, Spurgy.
When you're putting the base coat of dope on the wing, do y'all spray it or just brush it?
I was asked this question the other night. Would it be okay to spray? I guess it'd be okay to spray, but I always brush everything up into the color. Okay. After the color, then it's spray.
Okay. I didn't know that.
You know how much overspray that you when you spray that dope?
None. I use HVLP low pressure, 15 pounds. I don't get much overspray.
Oh, okay. Well,
but it doesn't put as much material on as brushing does.
Right. Well,
so instead of doing it in 3 coats, it'll take you 6 or 8 coats in spraying to get the same amount on it. That's why you see Wendy going. That's 1 coat. That's 2 coats.
Yeah, that's exactly how he does it.
Yeah. I know.
And stand each one, right?
No, I don't. I sand the first before the first coat goes on. Then the first coat goes on a special way, and then I sand that lightly, and then spray 2 coats on, and that's it. Then I shoot the color on it, and then I spray the clear on it. Then I sand.
Okay.
Most of the sanding on my airplanes is done afterwards. Also, that business about putting 60,000 coats of clear on it until the thing's shot, all that's doing is loading your airplane up with weight. If I'm going to use, if I have X amount of coats of dope I'm going to use on the airplane, I'd much rather use it as a top coat than as a base coat.
Yeah. When you're just putting, before you put the color on, you're using like 60, 40, 50.
Hold on, Jamie, let's look here.
That actually tightened up really pretty nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just coverall or the SIG stuff. I mean, or the Brodex stuff. But yeah, you can take an iron now and go around the edges and stuff like that. The reason why it wrinkled was because it was never doped.
It could have been silk span too. Does it look like paper or cloth?
More like cloth.
Yeah.
That is probably
right.
Depending on how old it is, it's more than likely coverall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty old.
When you're just brushing it on, you're using what, 60-40 mix or a 50-50, something like that.
Well, I was going to try this stuff that I just mixed up.
You mixed it 50-50, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I eyeballed it 50-50.
Yeah, but you're not painting over the other airplane.
Right, yeah. No, that plane, I think what I'm going to do is get the Randolph stuff for the Temptation and use Randolph clear, Randolph thinner.
3608S will work fine as the base coats. What happens is, when you start getting into the top coats, I don't like mixing product. I just don't. I start with Randolph and finish with Randolph. Billy has a way of doing 3 coats of Aerogloss clear, then Randolph, and and then automotive. It's just not good.
Yeah, so I'll get some of the Randolph and I'll try it like in the bay where the tune pipe goes, just to see what it does. That way if it does something stupid, you'll never see it because it'll be underneath the tune pipe. But so then I'll probably do the clear of that one with that, and then I'll work on this plane with this Brodax stuff.
That'll work.
Yeah, well, I found that as long as you don't do any nitrate, you don't have any problems mixing shit. Once you got nitrate, well, that shit, you better not change thinners or anything else.
Yeah. Well, what I'll have to talk to my dad about is, see, he's got Aerogloss dope, but like Sparky was saying, no thinner, and so we've got this 3608S DuPont thinner, and he was going to use that. But
yeah, watch what happens. It'll make a turd.
okay, well, I'll tell him not to do that.
We want to use something for aerogloss, MEK or acetone, and that's not right. But
right. Well, I'll tell him not to do it, and we'll probably just end up doing all Randolph on that one then too.
Because that quart of aerogloss over there from a zillion years ago has a $30 price tag on it.
Right.
I'm going to end up throwing it out. It's still good, you know, but just the way it is.
Well, I got a bunch of aerogloss color, and I won't use it just for the reason is I don't know what the blend of thinner was. It's something totally different though than regular dope that we think of dope or lacquer thinner or anything else. It was really good stuff. I know that.
I don't know.
Xylene in it too. I don't know, but it's a special blend.
Yeah.
If I could find a chemist, you know, we could make some, but I'm not that smart.
Yeah. You know, I still know
online. Is just that
I don't know if they'd run it for me or not. When I worked at Guardsman, but I used to take all that, you know, have them take all that stuff apart for me and let me know what was in it. But because I used to make my own gun scrub and all that kind of stuff, and they could tell me what was all in it, the stuff I liked, and could make it for pennies on the dollar. But you know, it's something that isn't hard to make, but you just got to know the right amounts, or it really messes things up.
Yeah, it does.
And so, what do you use for color then, Sparky? Still Randolph brand for pigment for color?
I use all Randolph products.
Okay.
Everything. Even the Superfill is a derivative of Randolph. It comes from the same spot.
Right. Okay.
You figure that them guys were sent to school and they work for the company and they're paid big money to figure out what goes in it. If they can't figure out that their products all work together, then something not right. But when you go mixing and matching, it's all on you.
And it's certified to use on real aircraft.
Right,
so,
right. The Randolph.
It's some good shit.
But the problem with Randolph dope and Brodac and certified and SIG is it's not fuel proof. Period. So that's why I come up with that concoction of urethane on the nose, and that's I'll mention how I do it, but I take no responsibility. When you clean your gun, you use lacquer thinner, and it doesn't curdle the urethane. So my brilliant idea was to use a 4-to-1 urethane product. I use it's the cheapest shit I can get from Sherwin-Williams. I can't remember. It's sitting over there. I can't remember the name of it, but let me get it. Let me make sure. It's a 4-to-1 product. What the hell is the name of it? Oh, it's Acme. It's right out of the McDonald's or the Bugs Bunny commercial. This is Acme. And so I mix it 4-to-1. So that's 4 parts of this, 1 part hardener, 1 part thinner, Randolph. And it works for me. I don't recommend you do it. It does not work for you. But you figure out what works for you.
Yep.
I use the similar system, Sparky. I normally just put the urethane or 2-pack clear. I've got 2-pack urethane there, and I put that on. Like you say, you won't really need it around the nose.
Paint it on the nose, and that's it.
Yeah, otherwise it's just dead weight. Yeah.
This model back here is painted on the nose, and that's it. And it blends in, you can't even tell. But that takes elbow grease. 5,000 grit sandpaper and elbow grease.
How about for a scale model though, where you want a matte finish? Anybody thought about a solution there for fuel on a matte finish?
Yeah, you go to the automotive store and say, I want matte clear.
What do? You spray the dope and then spray the urethane and feather it right into the dope clear?
Remember what I preached. If urethane's a mechanical bond, and lacquer or the dope is a chemical bond, you have to have tooth. So you sand the nose with 320, because that's the tooth that it takes Scotch-Brite. Like if you're doing a body work on a car, it takes 320 for the urethane to adhere to the body. So then you sand this all with 320 up here wherever you're going to paint, the nose, and you shoot this on and you let it feather back in there, then take the lacquer thinner or the dope thinner and spray the line, and it melts the...
Oh, I see. I got you.
I can't remember what they call it, but I learned that from Big Bill Auto Body. They spray the line so it blends. That's what it blends in from one to the other. So it melts the two together.
Like it just feathers itself right in.
Right. Then you got to use elbow grease.
Yep.
And trust me, well, you've seen my airplanes. You cannot tell where the urethane stops and the dope begins because they...
When you say you got to use a lot of elbow grease, are you talking about polishing it with what?
5,000 grit sandpaper.
Okay.
The chrome on your bumper, on any bumper, is 50 millionths thick. So
wow.
that's not much chrome. You could take all the cars on your street, take the chrome off the bumpers, and it would be smaller than the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
So that made me believe, because I got a buddy who does chroming, used to chrome my motorcycle parts. Go up there and look at the part that I was going to get chromed. He'd have it polished that it looked like chrome. I said, well, that's good enough. He said, well, there's no coating on it. So the part looks chrome before it's put in the tank. And it's not dipped. That's why there's no drips off the end of it. It's electrolysis process. So it's transferring the chromium, and it's done in a solution of acid. It takes the... I can't remember what the hell the name of it is now. But the chrome from one electrode to the other. One's a negative, positive charge, and it transfers the chrome over.
Yeah, anode and something, cathode. You got an anode and a cathode.
You can do it with a welder, if a DC arc welder, if you know the solution. And you can nickel plate in your bathtub.
That's like anodizing.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No, that's different.
That's like an air conditioning compressors. If you get water in it, it'll make acid, and then it'll copper coat all the steel in the compressor until it seizes up. We have that all the time. Just from the acid that's the same thing as chroming. It's the same process, but it actually strips the copper out of the tubing.
It's electrolysis that's doing it.
And then deposits it, yeah.
But it has to do with you have to have the acid up so high in the compressor, then it'll just transfer all that copper to all the steel parts.
Well, guys, it's been fun, but I got a long drive tomorrow, so I got to go.
All right, Sparky, thanks for all the info and tips.
Because when you drive,
I gotta go. I'll keep falling asleep.
Yeah. See you Monday from Dayton.
All right.
I need to give you some sanding clothes, Charles. You come over here and sand.
Thank you.
Safe, Sparky. I'll see you Monday.
Good night.
Hey guys, I'm gonna check out. I'm falling asleep. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Oh, it's early. What is it, like 8 o'clock there?
I was up late last night and up early this morning.
Last time I said goodbye to Sparky, my computer froze.
All right, well, don't say goodbye, but I'm saying goodbye, you guys.
Okay.
Charles, see you Monday, man.
See you, Charles.
Take care.
Maybe it was all that flying he did.
Yeah.
All right, I got a lot of good information tonight from, especially from Sparky about putting the clear on the plane, brushing it on. Because last time I did it, I sprayed it. When I was doing my flaps, I put carbon veil down, and rather than brushing, I sprayed it on. You got to be careful with the veil, though. They'll tear the veil up if you brush too hard.
Okay,
I'm gonna try spraying this time.
you know how the stuff was loose before?
Yeah, nice and tight.
Now
it's tight as a drum.
Once I put dope on it, will it keep it from loosening up like that again?
Yep.
Okay.
Then it doesn't become like, you ever see monocoat wrinkle after it sets in a car or whatever?
Yep. Yeah.
That's the same thing on that. But once you put dope to it, you can put any kind of paint to it. Then it ain't gonna shrink anymore.
Yeah, it hardens it a little, I guess.
All right. Well, that's what I'm gonna work on tomorrow. I'll probably brush a coat of this on it, which is that concoction I was mixing up.
Yeah, it is. When you do it, you got to use your brush kind of sideways,
right,
and hit it for that first coat. Otherwise, you'll see great big old drip marks underneath the covering.
Oh, right. Underneath of it.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever silked an airplane. Back in the old days, you had to scrub it. We called it scrubbing on the first couple coats of dope.
Yeah,
because it'll leave like big drip marks underneath the
stalactites under there. Yeah.
Yeah, runs all down, yep, on the inside and pulls your plane up with extra weight.
Silk span tends not to do that as bad, but anything with a real weave to it will drip like that. You got to scrub it on.
Okay.
And then yeah, once you get a little bit on there, then it won't do it anymore.
All right.
Well, I got Samantha did one. Come out pretty good. We just never painted it.
I'll be right back.
But it's easy, you know, it's fairly easy to work with. But actually, if you read how Stick does that cover right, you can do the same thing with Tom Morris's polyspan.
Right.
Go on the exact same way. You take 6 sticks it, put it on the edges, take an iron it in place, and Samantha's last airplane there from the Nats, it was one piece. We went from one end of the wing to the other end of the wing, and then tightened that on there, and it was one solid piece for the whole wing on the bottom, one solid piece for the whole wing on the top, wingtips, everything included.
Okay.
Iron it on, shrink it up, and then just dope it, dope it in place.
Yeah, make sure when you use the polyspan that you dope it until it fills up, because if you don't, if you look like this over the top of it, skim across the top, you'll see a bunch of fuzzies, and them fuzzies are a pain in the butt, man. Especially when you do your color, you'll see a bunch of little fuzzies every now and then. Well, that's one thing I don't like about polyspan until I got to know when it was filled. It was hard to tell in the bays and the polyspan for me when it was filled.
Well, see, I was watching Sparky's video on applying polyspan.
Yeah, the Continental.
Yeah, on the Continental. And so he went around just the outside, like where the wood paneling is. He didn't do any dope over the bays.
Right, exact. I mean, this is after you got the covering on
both sides, and then you're talking about the dope that goes on after.
Yeah, the sealing coats, the coats that seal it.
So you actually got to put it on a little heavier than what you think to get enough on it to stop the
Well, you get it too thin, and what'll happen if you don't watch, it'll bleed through and drip inside your bay. Because a polyspan is a fiber, and it's real easy to get too much in an area and it just form a drop inside the bay and then drop down.
That's why I tell you got to scrub it on. This stuff that from SIG is the same way. So you scrub the first couple coats so you don't get the drips.
So you go sideways and you just kind of do it light to get it to kind of soak in, but not to soak through.
Yeah, I probably have my brush almost at a 90-degree angle to it, or at the same angle as the covering.
Plus, I have my dope a little thicker.
You have it vertical with it instead of having your brush this way going in. Yeah, there you go.
Like this.
No, you scrub it back and sideways.
Don't rush it. If you rush it, you'll start.
Yeah, like that. That's how you got to put it on.
Okay.
And that'll keep it from dripping.
But then you're saying, Tom, that you got to put on enough to fill it to where it won't get fuzzies.
Right.
That's later.
Right. I mean, you know, me, I tried to cheat and I only put 2 coats on and I was like, I think I got her filled up. And I was in the priming process and I'm like, whoa, no, I fucked up.
I got a Cavalier from Tom Morris downstairs that I've had for like 3 years just for that reason. I did it the same way when I was going to save weight and all this kind of stuff. And then I hit it with the primer and nothing but fuzz. I'm like, oh my God.
And you're like, ah.
So what I did, and this is what we're going to do with Samantha's airplane. What I did, I went and got tissue, Jap tissue. And I put Jap tissue over top of the polyspan and then redoped it.
Yep. Well, what I did is I didn't have a lot of fuzzies, but they were sporadic off and on here and there. And what I did is I just stopped what I was doing and I doped it. Well, as soon as I was doing the dope, you know, it took the, you see, I sanded off all of the primer, but I didn't spray any primer on open bays. I don't do that. But it just smeared that primer all over, but I didn't give a shit. But I got the fuzzies down. I ended up putting 2 more coats of dope on.
Yeah.
Get the fuzzies down.
Well, the thing is, I actually sprayed the primer over the open base. And that is where I got all my problems. Because now, trying to see that, because I used 1,000 grit sandpaper and added more dope and almost polished that wing up to get rid of the fuzzies on the balsa, but I still have them in the open bays, and it's like it just takes so long to get one done that I just put the plane aside. It's like screw it.
Is Gerald sleeping?
No, I'm awake. I'm awake.
I saw your head bob for a minute there.
So do you guys use polyspan still because it does that, or do you prefer something else?
I like it because I bust holes and everything.
This airplane here,
so the polyspan is more durable, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Polyspan is, oh yeah.
But if you do bust a hole in polyspan, it's best to fix it with silk span. Is that right? I think I learned that one from Sparky when he blew a hole in it when he was doing the Continental.
Yeah. Probably is. But it worked good on that one, so on this airplane that's going to France, we're gonna put down the polyspan for the toughness, and then go over that with Japanese silk or tissue for the finished look.
Where do you get that from?
You can get it from Hobby Shop or different places. That you just look up Japanese silk. You can get that. The free flighters, they use it and everything, you know, a lot. These free flight sites, they'll have it. But I'm going to do that because Sparky says it's
that on too?
Yeah, Sparky says it's stronger than silk span. So I'm gonna try that over top the poly span. Usually you can use a whole lot less dope with tissue. The weave is so tight.
Right.
I'm hoping that going over the other will give me the look, and then it'll be lighter in the long run.
You know, I haven't tried polyspan, but I think this is probably the same as polyspan. It's Vilene. It's a synthetic tissue, and it takes a bit more to fill it, but it's very it's like working with tissue or silk span.
Has it got a directional grain to it?
You can get it with a directional grain, or this one's unidirectional. It's all over the show, but it's a lot stronger than tissue. And I've used that on a few models, but it's not as tough as the other method I use, like on my little model here, where I've just got I've got combat mylar underneath, and then it's covered just with normal tissue or model span over the combat mylar, and that means you don't need as much dope. It works quite well. But It's a rough model. It was the first one I did with it, but a lot of people seem to use that method just to cut down the weight because it doesn't absorb through the mylar. The dope sits on top of the mylar. And
somebody was telling me, and I can't remember who it was, saying that the new thing for free flighters being light and strong is ripstop nylon.
Yep. I went and researched that a few months back. I've even got some sample pieces from the company. Pretty cool stuff, you know. Yeah. But once again, it's real porous.
Yeah, it's what I've got here. The nylon. Yeah.
But the free flight guys are using it, and now it's crossing over into the combat guys because it's so tough. I mean, real super tough. It's like buying a new pop-up tent for camping. That's what this stuff is like. But it's the same type of material, but it's thinner.
Yeah. Have any of you used doctor paper?
Yeah, I've used it. I got a big roll of that if anybody wants any.
I took about 6 feet of it from my dermatologist the other day. I'm going to try that on the Cardinal, I guess.
Be really careful with it. What I found is to get it to stick down, you have to do kind of like some of the windy videos and put a coat of dope down on the model first, then dope that down.
Okay. Because
this doctor paper shrinks like 3 times as much as regular silk span.
Oh, I'm only going to be using it on the solid balsa parts, not the wing, but
that's how we did it on that SB11 that we fixed. And I spent days sanding out the damn overlaps because all the overlaps would roll.
Oh, really?
They rolled up, and then I'd sand them down and try to put more dope on them. They'd roll up. I mean,
so you'd advise me to probably not try that on the car.
You want to make sure, like I said, I found in the other places once I was having the problem, I put a coat of dope on the surface, then put that paper down, and then dope it again.
Okay.
And I did it pretty much kind of dry.
Yeah.
Because you put water to it and it shrinks so much that this thing, I think it would pull warps and wings and everything else. Oh. If you didn't do it quite right.
Yeah.
This stuff, I mean, you hit it with water and it really grows, and then when it wants to shrink back, man, that stuff really shrinks.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing I found. But that's the Brodak one. The Brodak, their form of coverall, and if you get too enthusiastic, it does tend to warp things. That's all. But otherwise, it's very easy to use.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shrink in it. A lot of shrink.
Yeah, you can shrink a ring into a circle with Brodak stuff.
When it gets time for me to do that, I'll come back and we'll re-talk about it. Make sure I don't screw up. Otherwise, nice plane.
I would make a storyboard kind of deal. Get you know, what I usually do is just take some like 1/16 balsa and stick it to hardwood.
Yeah.
And then do some overlaps and stuff and see if it rolls on you. This stuff I got was from Tom Morris. Now I have a friend that used it on his wheel pants and stuff like that. He loved it because it is tougher than hell. And he said it did a real good job, but he still used regular silk span and stuff the way he did over his wings and stuff. But because I told him, I said, be careful with it because it rolled on me and it added 2 or 3 days into getting that airplane ready to go to Texas there. Because that's Samantha was complaining how it was flying. And she said, something's wrong with this thing or whatever. And I started looking at it. And I'm like, and it looks like a crack right at the back of where the wing meets the fuselage. So I started taking off the monocoat that was on it. And I see a crack going further and further. I started just peeling monocoat. There was only maybe a 1 inch, 1.5 inches left of balsa on the top of the radius of the turtle deck. that
Right.
that was holding the airplane together.
Oh,
When I took
man.
all the monocoat off, the damn gap opened up 3/4 of an inch. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna bust the end of the thing right off of there. So I ended up putting it all back together, gluing it up, and then I used that Docker paper because I knew it seemed to be thick and tough, and it held up. I'll say that for it because she's flown it now and it hasn't re-cracked there. But I had to do all kinds of surgery, and I got inside of it and took some 16th inch balsa and reinforced
Oh, what a pain.
cracks, and it was a pain in the ass. But yeah, I'm surprised that the tail that come off that airplane, that monocoat held that from coming off. But
I guess it was flying funny.
yeah, she said it was flying. It was flying weird. Yeah, no telling how much the monocoat was stretching every time she did a square.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a punishing maneuver too.
But I'm surprised the tail didn't come off that thing, because once I got the monocoat off it, like I said, the damn crack opened up. If I had turned it upside down, it would have the whole tail would have fell off.
Well, fellas, guess what?
You ready for paint?
It's ready for paint, man.
All right,
Good.
we're watching. Get going.
No, I thought I had my paint scheme all figured out, and then I ran. I don't know what to do now. You know, it's not a a gable swans. You know, it's a crusader.
It's not a fork-tailed devil, huh?
No, but if you Google that name, up comes the P-38. Now, if you look at the P-38, this boom and these rudders and the elevator look just like it.
Yeah.
So, but I've had so many people tell me that, hey man, it's a Crusader. Yeah, I know that. I know. Okay, I know. I got it. I mean, it's a laser.
Was just sort of a nickname, wasn't it?
Huh?
Gebelswantz was just sort of a nickname, wasn't
No,
it?
that was his second airplane.
No, that was another airplane. But so far, I've come across an Orion, a Gobbleswantz, a Crusader, and a Carousel.
Carousel was his first one, and that's what Eric Rule told me last week. It went Carousel, then the Gobbleswantz or whatever, then the Crusader was the last one. But he may have had a third one in there then too.
Well, some guy from over in Europe sent me a plans to an Orion, and it looks just like it looks like the Carousel.
Is that spelled like Orion? O-R-I-O-N?
Yeah, I think. I might have to look on my computer and make sure that that's what the drawing that he sent me.
They said the Carousel had full length flaps, and the bell crank was in the inside boom.
Yeah.
This one here, everything's over here on this
Right.
album.
And then the Gobbleswantz was the same thing, except he moved the bell crank and stuff, and then he found out that was still way too much flaps. And the last one, he just has the flaps in the middle of between the booms.
Yep, that's what this is, just a flap in the middle.
Yeah. And he found out because otherwise there was way too much flap, they said.
Hey, Gerald, is that a A10 Warthog that's hanging behind you, green one?
Yeah, it's a GWS one. That's one that I bought that one secondhand, and somebody had started repainting it. They were going to do it grey, and I just thought I like the green, but I haven't really gone anywhere with any of my radio models. I've got lots of radio models. I've been pulling the electric motors out of and putting them on control line models.
Cannibalizing them.
Yeah, I just thought I don't really want to do radio when I'm just getting the boys keen on control line, and I'll just make a big distraction for them. So I'll just try and focus purely on control line. So all the radio gear, I charge it up occasionally, but I'll leave it for now. Too many
You got to keep those batteries alive and not let them run down completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric said that this airplane here is just one hell of an airplane to fly. It flies really good. I know one thing though. They call the P-38 the fork tail devil. That sure sounds a lot better than gobble swans.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
I mean,
So
they're transit.
I had a scheme of using red and black, and using a devil tail, going down the boom and going on the outer tip in a circle, and then straight up the rudder with the fork tail.
Yeah.
And the tail starts at the nose. I thought about that, but I'm not quite sure. There's a double silhouette with the tail coming out like a whip. And I was going to come across the nose and come across the wing and hit the boom and go right over in one piece. But I don't know how that's going to look. So I got some paper, and I've got a 2 foot wide piece of plywood, about 6 foot high right now. And I'm taping paper on there, about 3 sheets. And then I'm just going to mess with my airbrush. Make a stencil on a piece of paper and paint it and see what it looks like. Because right now I'm not too sure how to do it to make it come out look right. It
sounds like a pretty cool concept, though. I hope you can get it.
Yeah, and somehow what I would like to work in it is some China blue in there somewhere. It's a real super light blue.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not quite sure. So and until I get some paint on a paper or something to kind of figure it out, I don't want to fuck it up by trying something that I thought would look cool and it totally looks ridiculous.
Yeah, you used a proper term for that, because of all the times to ruin the looks of an airplane is the last step, trying to decorate it.
Yeah, and see, myself, I'm not good with coming up with ideas like that. I'm good at copying. I'm good at seeing something and say, hey, I can do that. And boom, I know how to do it. But I have a hard time coming up with ideas.
My paint schemes were always extremely simple.
Well, Tom, one way you can do it is take some pictures of it when you're ready to paint, put it on your computer, and use the Photoshop or just a basic painting program and just color it in and see how it looks.
Even Windows Paint, you could do something like that.
You've done that before.
Yeah, I guess I could. But
I've come up with some pretty cool paint jobs, but they end up being pretty simple in the end because the real complicated ones are too hard.
There's too much taping for the complicated.
They just said like, yeah, I'll just kind of leave that off.
Yeah.
Well, what would you think of? I was thinking like where the open bays are. Okay. Just right here, this portion of the wing where the open bays are, right here.
Yeah.
The rest of it's all solid wood, right?
Yeah.
With the open bays, what I was going to do is start off with a base coat of China blue, and then I was going to take this. Let me grab a hold of it. Lay that on there, just in this area. Red, and then the solid area and the booms would be black.
Now, what tint of blue is China blue?
Is it lighter than sky blue?
Oh, okay.
Or baby blue?
Yeah, I think if you went with the light blue with a red,
yeah,
see it. You get Samantha has that one Oriental that's blue. It will disappear in a nice blue sky. It's hard to believe if you got blue and white on your airplane. You get up there in the blue sky and it's like, wow.
I was just gonna do it in the open bay. The whole wing won't be.
Right. Well, I think if you have contrasting colors like the red and the blue, it won't be a problem. It's just that her whole wing is blue and everything.
So then, what color would it be around the wingtips and trailing edge?
Around the leading edge, and the flap area, and the nose, and the booms right here was going to be black, and then the red devil could start at the nose and then come through with its tail. But
yeah, if you have big contrasting colors, you won't have a problem at all.
Yeah, that'd probably look pretty sweet.
Yeah, as long as you got reds and blues, and because colors tend to turn black and white the further they get away anyway.
Didn't the Satan Combat or Junior Satan kind of have a tail on it?
Yep, little Satan. Okay, I took a colored pencil and kind of put the two colors together like that. Now see the black?
Yeah.
I thought about my piece of, there you go. Yeah, Rusty.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just looking for.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the devil. Now I got a silhouette. Hey, could I share the devil that I found? Hang on here.
I'd forgotten I had that little Satan decal. It's been sitting there since about 2012.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was trying to pull it up on Google. Yeah, and the Junior Satan even has the trident fork.
Yep, sure does. Comes out from around behind the engine, they sell.
Yeah, when Tom gets back here,
could you guys see that?
Devil.
Yeah.
Okay, you see that? That's the first devil.
Woo!
There's
Nice
that
one, too.
one. I like that one.
That devil can tickle itself pretty good.
Yeah. Now see, I was looking at the fork. Now that's the fork I thought about putting on the rudder.
That sounds like a good idea.
There's something in, I think it's this month's Model Aviation of a company that's making the slide off decals or water slide decals.
Yeah.
Of all the old combat kits and all that kind of stuff. So you could probably get the water slide decals right from the little Satan or the Junior Satan.
Yeah.
Did you see the one that Rusty put up there?
Oh yeah. Yep.
You can buy water slide paper and make them on your inkjet printer, but they'll fade in the sun real fast.
Now I have done this before. I have taken a piece of glass. Well, since my work table is all glass, I have taken make a figure. I've taken monocoat, and it takes real low heat, and I stick it to the glass, and then I take my piece of paper and I put over it, and I cut out the silhouette.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And then, like for the eyeballs,
I've done the same thing, sticking it down with Windex.
yeah. Now I could make something like that, and then I can pick it up off the glass and transfer it onto this plane, and then monocoat it on. Now, couldn't I after I monocoat that, couldn't I still spray my clear dope over the top of it and completely seal it?
Yeah, you can, but it's thick. That's why the water slide decals are so thin.
They're real super thin, right?
Yeah, so when you hit them over with dope, and they blend in, and you can't even tell.
Yeah, you can't even feel it when you rub your finger across it.
Well, my one of my flying buddies in Texas, he told me he's got a deal where it's he buys, gosh, I forgot what name of the company. He told me it's transfer stuff that you can put in your printer, and you can print what you want on it, and it prints out from your printer. And then he says you take you take clear dope and spray over the top of it, and he says,
real dry. Yeah, you can get that right at Hobby Lobby.
Yes.
For decals that you can put in your inkjet printer.
Can you see that?
You can buy it right there. It's not very expensive. Oh, someone's got something.
Yeah,
I think I pay $11 for this pack. Now you get it with a white or a clear background. This is the white background here. The package looks a little bit different. Just got a different picture on the front for the clear.
And is it really thin?
Yeah. You have to buy a clear spray after you've printed it through your printer. You spray this clear on it, and then let it sit, and then it's like a water slide decal.
Any kind of dope will do the job just fine. So I used to use luster coat. When it comes out of the printer, give it 10 minutes and then clobber it with the luster coat, or regular dope will not mess with the ink or anything. So,
okay.
And they make a sealer too, but I don't know if the stuff is fuel proof at all. I'd guess not, but just any of the clear dope we use is fine with it. And yeah, the paper is thick enough, but once you slide the decal off, it's super thin. So once you stick it down, let it dry, and then dope over that, clear dope over that, then you can't even feel the edge of it.
What do they use it for as a commercial product? What's it sold as normally? Is it sold as decal sheet, or is it sold? How do they market it?
Yeah, is it like eight and a half?
Comes from testers, and I think there's another brand out there too.
There's millions there's hundreds of them on YouTube, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, but you can get 8.5 by 11 on YouTube, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper than this stuff too.
Oh, okay.
I actually did this plane. This is radio control. It's a amphibious radio control plane for taking off, water, grass, snow, and everything.
Sweet.
And I put my own paint job on it. I made it like a Thunderbird scheme.
Yeah.
As you can see.
Yep.
And all the decals I did with that exact stuff that you have there, Rusty.
Yeah.
So this, the Air Force logo. And then instead of it saying United States Air Force, it's United States Amphibious Force.
Yeah. All of my reds faded really quick in the sunlight, though.
And then all the stars and the Thunderbird logo. I just.
Oh, I like the Thunderbird logo. Hey, man, that's sweet.
So I got all that off of Google, and then I printed it onto that paper, and that's exactly what this stuff is. And even the flags right there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now on Google, you can get both either inkjet or laser printer. And if I had a laser printer, I would get that because I think it would probably be more durable to fading, and probably have sharper, brighter colors.
Yeah.
But I don't have a laser printer. I can't afford one of those.
Hey, Gerald, where did you get that paper?
Hobbytown, USA had it.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby's got it.
Yeah. And I just have an inkjet printer. So yeah, it might be more brighter, crisper with a laser printer, but that's all I had. So
yeah, and it looks great too.
I mean, what happened if I guess that wouldn't matter. Never mind. I know my printer's got settings on it to regular printing, and then it's got photo printing. I could set the ink.
You want to do the best option you have.
Yeah, that's what I do. I put fine and the best options I've got. The instructions say to just use standard printing, but I don't. I put it on. I put the ink on as thick as I can.
So the photo would be
That's what I use.
Okay. All right. That's what I kind of figured. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
And save that setting for your paper size and your choices in that way, and call it Tom's Decals. And so every time you click your printer options, you just pick that format.
If you do that, also the other thing I think I had to do is you have to mirror everything. If I remember right.
I don't remember ever having to do that.
I can't remember if I had to mirror stuff or not for it to, when you take it off the decal sheet, if it comes off, mirrored or not.
Mine comes out just like you look at it on the computer before you.
Yeah, because the underneath of it slides off the paper.
Right.
Yeah, so
paper slides off from the underneath side of it.
Yeah,
The
so
ink
make,
on
make sure you
top.
read the instructions. It's been so long since I've done that plane, I can't remember how
Now,
that.
if I was to make something and put on the inside of my window of my car, there I would mirror it.
Yeah, that's right, because you'd have to flip it around backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It might also dull it to the observer. But all the tinted windows kind of screw that option up.
Yeah, well, that's actually, if you can put your decals on the inside of your windows, is better than the outside of your windows.
Yeah.
Because my photo,
See
these
them through
glasses,
the tint.
my sunglasses darken in the sun, but in the car they don't,
Yeah, I know.
because
Yeah,
the
the windshield doesn't let them get
right,
that.
which sucks.
I just bought 2 new pairs of glasses, and these are the ones that get dark in the sun, but not in the car. And then I bought a pair of prescription sunglasses just like these, and that way I just keep them on the dashboard and put them on.
I got these grandma glasses, bud.
I got those too. They'll go over your regular glasses.
Yeah, in fact, I got these
actually fly through the sun and still be able to see when the plane comes out the other side.
In fact, I think I brought these in here to fix them. These are my flying glasses here, dude. I'm telling you what, I could do the whole beginner pattern right in the sun if I wanted.
Yeah. And I put them on over my sunglasses too. That's
yeah,
it. Got a really bright day.
Right over my glasses. And I mean, they're dark all the way around, man. Underneath, they seal everything.
One day at a contest, I had them on top of my head while I was cranking the plane and everything, and I forgot to put them down over my face, and I was flying, and I felt something at my feet. I thought it was rocks or something, and so I was kicking and trying, stomping and trying to get them, whatever it was, get them damn rocks out of the way. And after the flight, I looked down, it was my freaking sunglasses.
Oh.
Dudes.
Yeah, I was in St. Louis there a few weeks ago, Thomas, for the isolated contest.
No. I'm gonna get your show you
At the Booter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I run all the way into.
Yeah, I wish I could have made it, but
GR and get
the
cases. I got them made up. And, you got to put hinges on them and shit like that, but they're all bent, and take them into work and get them welded up.
Yeah, that'll shrink your covering.
What state are you in again, Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
What state do you live in?
We're going to go to
Illinois.
You're in Illinois, okay.
Yeah, that little freeze we got down there, because I'm getting that quarter of a.
But that Jason Pearson was from McLeansboro, Illinois, which is about 2 hours south east of St. Louis.
When I go down there, when I'm done with this, I'll do it all. So I got it.
I don't know if you knew him or not.
Whatever. You'll poop it a little bit.
Holy crap. What is that? That's like tool steel there, them little T-pins.
Guys, it's getting late. I gotta get up before too late tomorrow morning. So why don't we go ahead and call it for tonight?
All right.
All right, we'll see you guys.
We got 2 YouTube viewers left. Thank you guys for coming, and so we'll all be back Monday night. So be sure to subscribe. And well, I guess you got to be subscribed to get in here. So and give us a like, please. And if you are so inclined, that $ super chat at the bottom of the YouTube chat box would be great if y'all would hit us with a couple of bucks. We appreciate everybody, and we'll see you back Monday, and have a happy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, and don't get too damn green, and watch out for leprechauns.
Yeah, everybody come back Monday, and Tom will have his airplane painted.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That might happen. I wasn't too sure on what to do, and then I had a couple comments there that made me feel a little better, like maybe I ought to try it. So we'll find out.
Yeah, I got some good info tonight. So until Monday, tight lines, fair winds, and see you later.
Yep.
Good
Take it
night.
easy.
See ya.
And y'all can keep talking.